Hello friends, let us now learn the next important topic about the next important topic that we are going to learn here is tube shielding and high voltage cables. So what does this tube shielding and high voltage cables mean? So for this I'll go into this diagram. So we know we have started using focusing cups so that the electrons are actually focused at a particular point in the anode, at a confined point in the anode. But in reality, will each and every electron hit the target? Mostly we have designed the focusing cup in such a way that it hits the target anode. Good. But we have X-rays which are produced. Most of the X-rays will go in this direction. True. But will all the X-rays go in this direction? Definitely not. Right? The X-rays are emerging from the tube and they are emitted with almost equal intensity in every direction from the target. Even think that all of them are emitted at equal intensity? Definitely not. The X-ray beam contains a range of energies and they are emitted in different directions. X-rays are scattered and they are emitted in different directions. And when they are emitted in different directions, they will collide with the glass tube. Okay, they'll collide with the glass tube. They'll collide with different structures which are present in and around the tube and they are scattered. So, to prevent these X-rays to collide and to scatter with different things present in the X-ray tube, we have made the tube housing is that whole x-rays this whole x-ray tube is actually surrounded by a envelope, and that this is called as tube housing. This tube housing is actually made up of lead. This lead will absorb the primary and secondary x-rays. Primary x-rays are actual x-rays, whereas secondary x-rays are scattered x-rays. If we do not make this tube housing made up of lead, then the X-rays will come out of the X-ray tube and they are actually the radiation, right? They will cause film fogging, obviously, and at the same time they will increase the radiation exposure to the patient. To prevent that, National Council of Radiation Protection and Measurements report number 49 states that this leakage of radiation from the X-ray tube, if you measure the leakage of radiation at a distance of 1 meter from the source, it should not be more than 100 millirontgen. So the leakage of radiation from the tube should not be more than 100 millirontgen in an hour. So that is one important thing. So to prevent that, we have made tube housing which is made up of lead. Okay, and at the same time, high voltage cables are also connected to the tube in the tube housing. And this tube housing is also grounded. It is connected to the earth also. To prevent the electrons from reaching it, and proper grounding of the tube to the earth will prevent the short circuiting of the tubes and the grounding wire. Sometimes there can be short circuit between there is grounding wires are present. There can be short circuit between these wires and the tube. To prevent that, we have, filled this whole tube, the space between the X-ray tube, the space between the Okay, the space between this X-ray tube and this lead housing is actually made up of is filled with oil. This oil will prevent the short circuiting of the grounding wires and the tube. Okay, and this oil will also work as a method for dissipation of heat also. Because what happens is when the rotating anode, when the electrons strike the target, this will heat the rotating anode. From the rotating anode, the heat might get dissipated to the glass envelope, from there to the oil. The oil will expand. Okay. So when if air is present, air will expand, and this expansion of air will cause the tube housing to also expand. So to expand excessively, and this might cause rupture of the tube housing. To prevent that, oil is made. Oil will help in cooling of the heat, but oil will also expand, right? Because oil will also have the property of expansion. So when oil expands, there are metal bellows present in the tube shield. They expand. So when the metal bellows will expand along with oil, this will prevent the metal from rupturing or from breaking. So these expanded metal bellows will are connected to there are expanded metal. See, when oil expands over the more than that which the tube can tolerate, there are metal bellows which will expand. These metal bellows are connected to switch. So as a result, the whole circuit is switched off. So this will prevent the circuit from overheating. So this is about tube housing and high voltage uh, channels, cables, high voltage cables. Thank you.